Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. From Blacklisted News, Ukraine implements total surveillance digital ID system. All personal documents, banking, and passports go digital. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has officially rolled out the e-governance social credit iPhone tracking system with the Ukrainian government's new DIIA app. While the technology behind the DIIA app has been under development for close to a decade, Zelensky has used the guise of CV lockdowns to integrate the invasive technology into everyday Ukrainian life. Now, the government claims all personal data will go digital by the year 2025. The DIA app was designed by the Ukrainian government agency calling itself the Ministry of Digital Transformation. The program is similar to a project funded by the Rockefeller Foundation backed ID 2020 Alliance, with the goal of paving the way for a universal digital wallet with an all-encompassing universal digital ID. In one article, journalist Whitney Webb noted that the CEO of the International Rescue Committee developed a pilot program in Myanmar for the digital biometric identification system, supported by the ID 2020 Alliance. According to Webb, the ID 2020 Alliance is backed by Microsoft. On this manifesto, the ID 2020 Alliance described itself as a global private-public partnership which brings together technologists, advocates, implementers, and funders toward a good digital ID for all. Under the guise of closing the identity gap for the 1 billion people on Earth who cannot prove who they are, the ID 2020 Alliance pledges to pave the way to create a universal digital identification system. Working in partnership with Facebook, MasterCard, iRespond, Microsoft, Gavi, the Rockefeller Foundation, and others, the ID 2020 Alliance says the program will proceed in 4 phases from mid-2021 to late 2025. On their website, they hypothesized that the future biometric digital ID will be linked with humans from the point of birth to the point of death. The stated goal of the DIIA is to create a state in a smartphone, meaning every personal identifying document from government forms, driver's license, and passports to banking information and biometric data will be accessible within the app, and more importantly, by the Ukrainian government. This is all gradualism towards the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. Shalom. All praises, blessings, glories, and honors be unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Racha Kodash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders who have taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom in Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Ratazah. This lesson is edifying. Reading on in this article entitled Ukraine Implements Total Surveillance Digital ID System. All personal documents, banking, and passports go digital. And what should come to our minds? The mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. And in particular, the third root word of the word mark, which is grapho, which means of the writings, filled with the writings, filled with the records, because within the RFID microchip is where people's information, such as their medical information, their financial information, their keys and wallets and cards, information are all going to be kept, stored. Okay? So now reading on. During the February 6, 2020 presentation and launch of Dia app, Ukrainian President Zelensky explained that 9 million Ukrainians now have access to their driver's license and card registration documents on their phones, with top government officials calling the implementation of the state in a smartphone project a priority for the government. An article from 2019 in the Kyiv Post explains that much of the funding for designing the app came from the U.S. sources, including USAID. The self-proclaimed goal of no corruption being the driving force behind the project is proving itself to be an inverse of reality. This is why they've been pushing so hard on CBDCs, because they are getting ready to centralize everything, including the public and private sectors. Everything is about to go digital. The mark of the beast is right around the corner. And all you Israelites out there that think this thing is a joke, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to get ready to start opening up on you jakes, man. Because this is not a joke. This is life and death, man. This is serious business. Reading on, it says, the self-proclaimed goal of no corruption being the driving force behind the project is proving itself to be an inverse of reality. Very soon, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are going to reintroduce the world to the fear of Yahweh Yahushai, man. Because this world lacks the fear of the Lord. Jake still thinks that the words that are written within the scriptures are just fairy tale words, when that's not so. These words are the words of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai, man. The Lord is not a man that he should lie. Though it tarry, wait for it shall surely come to pass. It will not tarry. Ukraine's government will now know a lot about its citizens, from passport details, biometric data, to the amount of money they make and the taxes they pay. However, Ukraine confusingly claims that the information is stored privately in servers that are not connected. Meeting the young and enthusiastic developers behind the digital ID tracking system. Ukrainians can download Dia and store a whole lot of official information there as mentioned above, with the aim of being able to easily carry out most of the administrative procedures, which range from paying their taxes to renewing their identity papers, including the payment of fines or the recovery of social benefits. Moreover, with CV, the government has even announced that the payment of benefits will be conditional on the presence of a JUK certification. I'm not going to say the V word there. The regime in Ukraine, which has the support of George Soros, Joe Biden, Don Lemon, and every other horrible person on earth, is doing full-on digital dystopia after President Zelensky met with Klaus Schwab, that damn demon, adopting World Economic Forum's proposal of an online dragnet. DIAP isn't far off from what Apple is working with in the United States, as President Joe Biden openly proclaims there's going to be a new world order. And that concludes the article.
We are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. So anyway.
So again, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all. The he is referring to the hegemony of Esau, Edom. Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. So both small and great, from a newborn baby to an elderly senior in society, whether they be rich or whether they be poor, whether they be free or whether they be in bondage in the jail system, to receive a mark. And that mark is the RFID microchip. The word mark in the Greek is charagma, which means a stamp or imprinted mark, which is the RFID microchip. In Europe, it is known as NFC chip implant. It is also known as the biochip. Bio means body or living. And then you have chip. And then you have also, it is called or known as the brain chip implant, i.e. Elon Musk's Neuralink. Okay. The root word of charagma is charax, which means a palisade or a stake, which will be the syringe mechanism that they will use to puncture the flesh of an individual to then insert that charagma. The root word of charax is grapho, which means of the writings filled with the records, because within the RFID microchip is represents information such as their financial information, their medical information, so on and so forth, will be recorded, will be written, will be stored. Okay, in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast. And the beast is the pagan Roman Empire, which came back in the form of NATO and the EU, with America being an extension of that empire. That is the beast, or the number of his name. And what is the number of the beast? Verse 18 will tell us. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 600 threescore and 6666, which we see behind the UPC codes that are found on products that are in the stores in the form of three bold lines, one in the far left, one in the far right, and one in the middle. And that represents 666. All right. And that is known as the UPC code, Universal Product Code, that is used by Esau to track products across the globe. But now everything is further getting digitalized. And so now they are about to shift to forms of networks known as blockchains, and not just any form of blockchain, but centralized blockchains, meaning that networks that will be overseen by a central authority. Okay, so they will be able to see all manner of traffic. The apostles have done innumerable videos, as well as the elders and older brothers on down on this topic. Okay. And in the Greek, 666 is Chi, Zai, or some brother might say Chai, Stai, however you say it, stigma. Chi and Zai both means X mark, and there's a saying in the world, X marks the spot. Look at certain medical movies, you'll notice that before a doctor or a nurse punctures the flesh of an individual, they will put a small circle with a dot in the middle or an X as a spot of puncture. Okay? That's exactly what they're going to do in this reality, when they're about to insert that chip into people. Stigma means stamp, and figuratively, according to the online etymology dictionary, stigma means a mark of disgrace. So those that take that chip, they're taking the mark of disgrace that will slay them to be destroyed, because here's the judgment. And so the message out there to you Israelites is to not take that chip when they mandate it. The mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. Okay, Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and the image of the beast is the system of the beast, which is comprised of his financial infrastructure, his medical infrastructure, his architectural infrastructure, his military industrial complex, his democracy. All the things that comprise this man's system is the image. His laws, his philosophies, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire through the intercontinental ballistic missiles, which are the weapons of the Lord's indignation, and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Who is the Lamb? Our Lord Yahushai. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahushai. And who are they? The elect of the nation of Israel, which I pray that I am a part of, as well as you brothers and few sisters. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying and informative. Until the next Lord's willing, I say shalom to the elect.